Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Onord.
This is Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, returning to our coverage of the monthly tournament, the 30-minute time limits are here. And we are today on Siedlce. Rang, who do we have? What do they have?
On left-hand side in the blue, we have Onord playing the 20th Panzer Division with a Maverick income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Insha playing 84th Guards Infantry, also with a Maverick income.
Well, I mean, what I'm seeing over here with Onord, the balanced income, which is kind of fascinating for me because...
Oh, balance! I'm a bloody idiot.
Nah, just you know, Canadian.
It's honestly quite weird seeing a balanced income in a 30-minute time limit tournament.
I know.
I was gonna make a joke like someone should go Juggernaut.
That was one of those things. Like, I just you said it, and I'm looking at the incomes. I'm thinking to myself, did I load the wrong replay? Am I looking at the wrong guide? I looked up at one screen, looked at another screen. Nope, guys, we got a balanced income here. But 20th Panzer, this basically another Strelkovy kind of division. What's going to go on with this? Because I feel like we've seen a lot of this material happen before, but how is this whole Maverick and balance going to play off of each other, especially with the Panzers?
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. I mean, Onord does have a better tank fire support. He has a lot of cheap medium tanks, which are perfectly on a map like this. Insha, a few T-34s and a few IS-2s, which will perform decently. I'm honestly quite curious to see how this will go. I feel like Insha's going to have a bit of problem just dealing with so many Panzers. And you don't really have a whole lot of ground-based AT to deal with all those Panzers.
Well, right now we're going to see a Superior Vox in the southern town who has been rushed inappropriately. Ooh, wow. That was...
Whoa!
Okay. That was
Wow.
a trap card that apparently just got flipped. I missed it completely. The VF-109 did not get new orders, though.
The recon troops like, crap, I've already dealt with this.
Oh, man. Is that scene like We Were Soldiers? So it's like, break off! Too late.
Yep.
Unfortunately, MG-42 getting pushed back here in the meantime. Snapiri to the northern side. Oh, he's holding his fire. I thought we were actually going to see him start to engage the MG-42. And Flampanzers and Stahlstruppen with tons and tons of flame. I'm stoked for this one. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. I mean, both sides investing quite heavily in the flamethrower troops early on for good reason, because flamethrowers are quite lovely to use. To be on the other end, not so much. But yeah, I think Onord is just going to try and push pretty heavy into this southern side here and mop that up. I mean, up north, it's not that great for 20th Panzer, as it is definitely more of an infantry spam area, and that's really going to be Insha's cup of tea.
Yeah, yes. It's a yes but moment, because there's still a Chernos there, and I'm sorry, but Chernos, the air stats trooping of the east, really.
Yeah.
So those poor sods are going to go and just take it in the teeth pretty consistently here.
Yeah, he really just needs to spam a bunch of superior rocks up, yeah, because you just need the CQC firepower, or some sort of... Does he have Avtos? Yeah, he has Avtos and Superiors.
Well, he's got the 50 mil neat mortars. Unfortunately, the 50 mil neat mortars are like, aha, we're firing! And meanwhile, the Germans have completely vacated those positions a long time ago.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the firing orders, yeah, but if he can just keep the Chernos alive long enough, then the 50 mil can shoot the bloody position. That's pretty much going to be the Chernos, and heck, even the Guard DPs and this sort of environment isn't going to be great.
No, it won't. We are going to see the Flampanzer has made it not into range to Flam, but he's alive, which is more than we can say for most Flampanzers at this point already.
Yeah.
However, a very, very plucky and kind of ill-timed reinforcement push here to the northern side. Yikes. This is going to be real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. But the no firing orders are now going to... Yikes. Oh, jeez, this is unlucky.
Oh, yeah, the Source Troop managing to get in actually quite close. Sniper kind of shooting at the wrong target, yeah, and there's not enough fire support. The Dish-3 and the other 76mm gun a little bit far back, so the Source Troops are going to make it into the forest. And the CQC, those artillery guns, are not going to have a good time.
Well, and the 50 mils not even get a chance to kind of reposition his firepower here. So Cherno's to the northern side, they're going to get carved to pieces. The Zis is going to get carved to pieces. Yeah. Yeah, that was really quite solid. IL-2, though, yikes.
Whoa. Gets the Panzer IV in one fell swoop, the other one taking a bit of damage. Messerschmitt coming in, not enough to shoot down IL-2, of course. I mean, it is a flying Staluminium.
Well, the other BF-109's he's hopefully going to pick up a little bit of plucky firepower. Nope, but he is smoking now.
Yep.
And Stalinium, I think the power of communism, I don't think it compels or protects quite that much, but maybe I'm incorrect on that. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just a really anticlimactic turn fight here between all these aircraft.
Yak's got
I think the Russians should get in on top.
Wait, what?
Why is he evacing? That must have been a misclick.
Maybe. Well, the other BF-109, he could have had a... Okay, this is a very weird thing.
It's more like an air show and an actual dogfight.
Well, the IL-2's going to come out with a 37 mils. Yeah, that would be brutal. But hunting a Yak, that's enough. The IL-2 goes down, the Yak goes down. It is clearly the Luftwaffe coming out ahead in that one.
Yeah, very good kill shot from Onord. His push in the northern side didn't go as well. I mean, Soft Troop managed the kills is free, but yeah, an infantry coming in. And now with the 76mm gun in position, Onord's long-range machine gun advantage is going to go down.
Yes, it is. Now, southern side, real quick, we have a T-34 that's inside this forest. We also have the Flampanzer, which is just a roasty toasty. And the P4F1 upgun here, trying to engage the T-34, hasn't killed it yet. But
Yeah.
he has certainly caused some transmission issues there.
I'm honestly impressed that the Flampanzer's been able to flam so much and not get blown up yet. It's almost out of ammunition, which is an odd problem to have for a Flampanzer.
You know, you're absolutely correct on that. Now, we are seeing Superior Rocks might be able to take out this Shrek. Oh, no. Unfortunately, the Shrek is able to get away, so that T-34 is not really safe as houses.
No. Not at all, and that's just a very good position for Onord to put himself on. If he can hold on to hill, you slap a Pack 40 or two in the air, you pretty much zone out the southern side, easy peasy. You are seeing Insha try to push a little bit on the far southern flank, but without any long-range tank support, he's not going to be able to do much outside of the forests.
True. Well, we're seeing right now these guards, geez. The Flampanzer's going to be out of ammunition soon. He's out of ammunition. He has flammed his last flam.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to get the guard DPs in there for the anti-tank rifle, but at CQC, I mean, guard DPs are already just kind of, apart from the AT rifle, I always find pretty mediocre.
Yes.
And he really just needs more CQC troops, and that's really screwing him over in this phase, because all he has are those superior rocks.
And those
So
are not
he
quite
just
superior.
No, they're not. In B phase, which will be coming up shortly, with the superior and after reinforcement, I think that's going to come in clutch. But it might be a little bit too late, as Onord is getting all the good positions.
Now, I'm finding myself kind of curious. Right now, this theoretically should be the Maverick fight to lose. It's a 120 to 110 in the first place, so there's an income disparity already. Income disparity in the second phase. So the 20th Panzer really shouldn't be coming out ahead here, and he's up 15, 14, 10. He was up 15-9 here for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, Onord's been running in the sky, he's been running tank engagements, and for the most part, he's been running all the infantry engagements. So he is doing very well for himself, especially with this income disparity.
Zis 3 to the north has finally gotten a good position, taking out one of the P4s across from him. So I suppose I can't sing the praises too much over here of the 20th Panzer. Regardless, not a great position to be in, I would warrant. P4 engaging the Zis, and that is no longer a fight I'd really want to be taking.
Yeah, we've seen the IL-237 being brought in down south, also using the recon plane. What is he going for? He should spot the Grill and the Panzer IV, the recon plane. That's kind of a juicy target, especially with no anti-air nearby.
It's a very juicy target. You're absolutely correct. Unfortunately, there is a BF-109 on there, and then goes the Tu-2. So I'm not saying Stellinium can be taken out by a fighter bomber, because Lord knows that that doesn't happen. But there is potential.
Yeah. But Narion to be face, so this is really Insha's time to shine. It's a Trove. He's really not down by that many points. So he needs to make something happen. Even just getting a +1 point advantage throughout B phase should be enough to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's constantly the thing, isn't it? Constantly. 50 mil mortars not able to be really effective. I mean, they're nice and close. And we're actually seeing another little bit of a rush now. IL-237 to the northern side, but Strom Pioneers as well. I guess I'm surprised by Insha's kind of... How do I put this? He's not quite giving the air cover I would have expected.
Yeah, he's bringing in a lot of airplanes, but they frankly haven't done all that much. I mean, he's invested more in the anti-tank airplanes rather than the bomber runs, which... Yeah, I get. Especially in with his division where he doesn't have a whole lot of good ground-based AT. I think maybe it's going to come down to just using an IS-2, which he brought down south.
I just took another look up here at the 84th, and I was thinking to myself, we haven't seen that many tanks. Then I realized there's not that many tanks in the 84th.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Like, of course, a lot of the Soviet divisions, you just kind of want T-34-76 spam. Because T-34-76s are quite lovely tanks. I mean, they're not lovely to be in, but they're good for the price.
You know, you gotta go and respect the fact that at least the Russians were like, you know what? Women can get shot at just as quickly as men.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not exactly, I think, the gender equality I'd really be hoping for in the 40s, but, you know.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I just never thought it'd be the inside of a T-34.
Yeah.
More Flampanzers. So these guys are getting a surprising amount of play and efficiency.
Yeah, usually against Soviet divisions, like, Flampanzers don't do well because all the anti-tank rifles. But in this case, they've been managing to get the first shots off, and they've been holding back the line.
Right now, the 50 mil mortars are doing that desperate thing you always see in the movies where it's like, covering fire! Quick, loft 5 rounds. It's like,
yeah.
Displacing to the rear. I mean, strategically redeploying.
Yeah, you know, a few of the guys getting the mortar shells, banging them against the helmets, and then chucking it.
You know, with the 50 mil mortars, I pretty much expect that's how it looks and how it feels.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably pretty small. You could probably just throw it like a football pretty easily.
Yeah. Now, of course, when he says football, he means that weird Canadian football that we also have in the U.S. as well. So,
yeah.
You know, just for our international crowd out there. As if as I'm mansplaining something you probably already knew. We're back to 1311, though. We're not quite 40% of the way into Phase B. But even still, the 1311, and I think it's just because we have a couple, and there we go, back to the 1212. I think there's going to be a couple of just weird flags that have just been picked up almost by accident.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those matches where it's just going to be really fighting for a few inches rather than taking a couple miles. I mean, Insha's still in a decent position. He is in position to take a few flags, especially in the center if he was to be a bit more aggressive with infantry. He just really needs a +1 point advantage.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that he needs that +1 point advantage, and I don't know if, first of all, A, he can keep that, and second of all, B, if that's something that's really in the cards for him.
Yeah. He's kind of getting more reinforcements down south. He's getting heavy anti-air, heavy artillery. He's got the IS-2 up his sleeve. Be curious to see where he deploys that, because that can be a pretty big force multiplier.
I'm going to give you a yes, but...
But?
Check
What's
out the Luftwaffe air tab, because there's something that's there that I'm sure he's thought of, but it's still kind of nerve-wracking from a different perspective.
The clusters.
The clusters, indeed.
The clusters, and we know how clusters and IS-2 go hand in hand.
It's the cluster.
Usually not to the benefit of the IS-2.
Yeah, usually not. Usually not. Which is, kind of a nice thing. It's nice to know that there's always a little bit of love and affection that cluster bombs can bring to the fray. But it's just not a super positive moment. Mortars, in the meantime, trying to engage the half-tracks and make them freak out a little bit. Certainly make me a little bit nervous, but I still don't think that'd be the greatest opportunity here.
Yeah, I think Strafniki trying to go in for the flank of the anti-tank rifle. Really just one or two good AT rifle hits can knock out those flam panzers, and then Insha can push on through. And there we go, it's what he needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is pretty much almost out of ammunition. There's not a whole lot of Panzer Grenadiers left.
No.
So,
no, there's not. But I would hazard to say that just because there is a little bit of ground fire here, that's not too crazy. I mean, it's nothing massive.
Yeah. This is a pretty good push here from Insha. He is going to be capturing that flag, flipping it back to a 13-11, and he has just a good defensive force in that forest. Onord's going to have to invest a lot of infantry and artillery to try and route that out. Yeah, I do like his northern push. He's going to be disrupting the enemy lines.
Yes, it's a solid move right here. Especially as he takes out a couple of those very, very valuable ZIS-3s. There's 9 of them here as a potential, but still not, you don't want to be using those kind of like profligate spending of your equipment, especially not with the 84th.
Yeah, you don't really have a whole lot of him.
Of course, as we say that, Superior's picking up the Pioneers over here, and the Peak Run's going to be shoved back. Not even pushed, shoved. 4 squads, 3 of them, excuse me. 3 Pioneers or derivatives and a P3. That should be enough, but there's still an awful lot of Faust, PTRD shots. I mean, that's still a little bit scary.
Yeah, so pretty much it's just the Pioneers getting close in general. They are CQC specialists. For all the Russian infantry here better at longer ranges. They preferably want to try and catch the Pioneers out in the open with their pants down. But there's tanks, and tanks are very good at keeping you in the forest.
Yep. I imagine if you're trying to get somebody with their pants down, a little bit of privacy is not probably not a bad idea. Unfortunately, like you said, I don't think he's going to get this. T-34 even kind of not taking him in the flank. But at least rotating around and putting some supporting fire here, it at least has these Sturmpires move in with the Pioneer SVTs.
Yeah. And then that is just a lot of CQC firepower. I mean, Insha does have a leader at least to back up his infantry, and Strafniki is somewhat okay at CQC, but when flames are on the table, things just kind of burn down quite quickly.
Yep. Now, bringing in a light column of Dushka's 45 mils Superiors. Good. It's a solid idea, but the 220 off map is going to cause a lot of hassles as those guards go right back into the fire zone. Very unlucky.
It's going to take a bit for those guys to actually get into position to be anywhere useful, and it's going to be a bit dangerous for them to get into position with all the tanks driving about. True.
Dushka's, in the meantime, they unlimber themselves and immediately take a shot to the face. So not quite the welcome they may have been thinking about. But regardless, well done.
Perfectly timed off-map here from Onord. I like how he placed it behind where the infantry previously were, because he knew they were going to fall back in that general direction. All of them are now stunned, and if he follows on through, he can recapture that flag.
He absolutely can. The only minor hiccup that might happen is his vehicles don't get a lot of support here, because his 45 mils are still going to cause some hassles.
Yeah.
But the leader is down. Strafniki is heavily reduced. Another guard squad is dead. It's 14-10, and we are on the brink of Phase C.
I know that in the middle, Insha's men to capture a flag. He's very close to actually capturing 2 more flags in the middle. He does have that long-range anti-tank firepower thanks to the 85 and the IS-2, and a second IS-2 being brought in. He doesn't have many IS-2s, but he's using them pretty much in the perfect spot, because over that lake area, you can't really get flanked, and 20th Panzer doesn't have a whole lot. Okay, they do actually have a bit of super heavy AT, and that is the Pack 43, and they are bringing it up right now.
Well, even the Pack 40 is going to be moderately scary here. Even the APCR shells, he's going to be using those. Well, the stars are aligning. He's not engaging.
Oh, Verframen! I want to see him Verf.
I think he would certainly do that. I can't help but wonder if he's going to engage the Dushka position or how he's going to be looking on that one. But the Gorilla goes down, and the Komrati is still plucking. I get the feeling if I am Onord, I'm going to be pulling out a Ju-87.
Yeah, you just, even if you lose it, doesn't matter. Just killing an IS-2, especially at his point in the match, is just so critical. Because he needs to regain, the flags in the center position.
Yep. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
But yeah, it's getting pretty close. I mean, it's like very close point rise. Insha is, it feels like he has the flags, but it doesn't feel like he's having the momentum. Like he's barely holding on.
And I think that's a good way to put it, because I'm looking at this myself and thinking, he's got the heavier firepower on the map. Consistently. Like the IS-2, there's nothing that's going to be taking out the IS-2 unless you sacrifice an awful lot. And yet, unfortunately, he's not been able to parlay that into any kind of major advantage.
Yeah. Insha's been very good at getting the right bodies and the right location just to hold, but Onord's been much better in this I can't say properly, the sphere punct. Just pushing through in a concentrated area and then taking territory, but he just has a little bit of a harder time holding on to it.
Well, for example, to the northern side, we're seeing an attempted sphere punct over here between lots and lots of Superiors against Pioneers with a T-34 in support and a 37mm that can certainly... Okay, well, maybe not this current second, but just the amount of death and destruction back and forth. Yes, they're falling back. Watch both of them get picked up here.
Yep.
And that's just kind of the consistent thing, isn't it?
The firepower, but, Onord, he needs to capture one more flag. It's going to have to come down to the center. And unless those IS-2s go down, he's going to have a bad time. They also have the 122mm artillery on the field. Two of them, and they're going to start pounding.
I think a couple of these other things, though, too. We have, this 85mm that's still on the field. He's going to take some firepower. There's a Shafniki that's right there. We have the BF-109s that are engaging the troops in the town. So, yeah, there is some small issues here, but there's still a potential 7 other P4s getting brought on in. There's still tons and tons of air power. The Verframen is starting to speak, I think. He's going to start to talk here in just a moment, going after that Komrati and the Dushka.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, please.
No, it's risky going over for the IS-2. He can potentially kill it. It was a big rocket, but
well, even if he forces
he can also really waste his time because he can only really shoot at once. The reload time is pretty slow.
But the thing is that look, he's also bringing 88mm, so he's waiting. So he's gonna stress it and then bring in the Pack 43. So I don't know. I think this is actually really well timed. And I think the spread on this should be just enough as well to cause some hassles for the Dushka. I say hassles, I mean kill it.
Yeah.
Pack 43, is he going to be able to get eyes on it? No. Just out of range. How unlucky.
Yeah, pretty underwhelming strike here from the Verframen, only doing half morale damage to said IS-2.
True. Now, there still is going to be some small pushes here. Nothing too crazy. Both sides, I think, are kind of taking a measure of each other. I think Insha is probably a little bit nervous here, and justifiably so. I think Onord is just kind of... He knows that he's got the material advantage in terms of... Yeah, and there we go.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Oh, wow.
I truly think that's fair.
That feels like a really weird match where, neither side was doing great, but they weren't doing terrible either.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
I think it's one of those things that it's fair. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Insha wasn't getting good kills, I mean, the KD speaks for itself, but
Mhm.
he, like I said, he's holding on to the territory, and that's all that really matters in the end of the day. Well,
Sure.
Onord was trading efficiently, but I mean, yeah, Onord did win, so I don't know. I felt like a weird match.
And see, and that's the problem, isn't it? Is that right now we're looking at some of these kills and losses, like this IS-2 Combrati, he kills 3 or 4 vehicles. But on the other side, it's not like there's that many kills either. There's a
No,
lot of really, really strange material going on here, and it's successful on both sides, don't get me wrong. But just,
it's a real skirmish.
it is. It absolutely is. And I think it's a good way to put it, is as a real skirmish.
Yeah, good job, Onord.
Very, very good job indeed.
Even then, just before the end, I feel like Insha still could have run that match. Like, I think he maybe tapped out a little bit too early. I understand, of course, Fog of War, you don't really know, you lose momentum, it's disheartening, I do get that. But he still had potential in the middle, especially the IS-2, to still put down pressure and just cheese his way through by holding just 1 or 2 flags for another 5 minutes.
But, maybe he's not a guy who likes cheese. Maybe he's not a cheese guy.
Maybe
Maybe
not,
he's
yeah.
lactose intolerant. I don't know.
That could be the case, Khan.
You know what? And I think that's the thing to always kind of remember is that even if somebody doesn't like cheese, you can't hold it against them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Any other final thoughts other than the fact that Insha is awesome having Snoop Lion over here with something on his head?
Yeah. No thoughts.
Well, folks, in that case, then, thanks so much for joining us this week. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.